All-Star weekend wrapped up. We had the All-Star game, 3-point shootout, dunk contest, and tons of press conferences / interviews. Very underrated. Not many people talk about how amazing these press conferences can be, but one player had an interview. That's Anthony Davis, where he talked to Rachel Nichols, and he said this.
Do you think about what might have been this season?
All the time. All the time. We could have go to the playoffs. Nobody can really stop us. That's big. We go to the finals. We win. You think about all of it. Rondo reminds us of it. You guys are the two best bigs. I know what it takes to win a championship. We got it.
Now, me and you, as realistic NBA fans, know that this Pelicans team did not have enough firepower to legitimately win a championship like, well, what Anthony Davis said. I was very excited to watch them because I know those two of the best big men in the league, it's going to be a matchup nightmare for whoever they matched up against. But now Boogie's out and the Pelicans are still fighting, but we know how this is going to end eventually. But what was Anthony Davis supposed to say? You know, you can call up every player on every team trying to compete for a playoff spot, and they're going to tell you one thing, that their team can make the playoffs, and they believe that their team can win it all. They're competitors, and that's what it is. Now, along with this, he got some criticism from Skip Bayless. All right, Skip Bayless. If somehow you're watching this video, I'm going to say this right up front. I'm a fan of your show. Shout out to you, Shannon Sharp and Joy Taylor. Y'all put together one of the better daily sports shows. But brother, you saying this? Come on now. You done said some whack things in your past, but this is definitely up there. So in today's video, well, we're going to be listening to what Skip Bayless says, and I'm arguing with Skip.
Over his 6 seasons, he's averaged 6th in the league, so he puts up huge numbers, shocking numbers, but they're empty calorie numbers because they don't translate enough into wins. And I know you can say he doesn't have enough help, he doesn't have this, but I'll go back to your man LeBron James. There have been many times when LeBron didn't have enough help in his first go-round in Cleveland, but they won a bunch of games.
Skip, you legitimately bring in one exception. That is the one exception to the rule. Usually, no matter how amazing of an NBA player you are, if you don't have teammates around you, you're not going to win. You bring in LeBron James because he is the only player in recent history that was able to win with nobody's on their team. Because LeBron is a generational star. He's a top 3 player of all time. Some people argue he's the greatest of all time. No matter who you put on his team, he was the chosen one. He was going to win. You can substitute almost any player in recent NBA history besides LeBron James and Anthony Davis' spot, and they would achieve just as much as Anthony Davis has so far.
If I combine these two guys, they've played 14 combined NBA seasons. They've played a combined 921. They're going on 1,000 games in the regular season. Guess how many playoff wins they have between them? Zero. Because Anthony played one series going back 3 years ago against Golden State before it was really Golden State. And he got swept.
So close to 1,000 total games between these two stars, 0 playoff wins. DeMarcus Cousins just left Sacramento, who we all know was one of the most toxic and worst organizations in recent history. And we talked about Anthony Davis not having help his first couple years in this league. Now, the point about Golden State not being Golden State, we're talking about 2015. 2015, the first round, the #1 seed, Golden State Warriors, went against the New Orleans Pelicans. He said Golden State wasn't even Golden State. 67 wins, MVP, and eventually went on to win the championship. But this Golden State team wasn't Golden State. Now, in this series, Anthony Davis had one heck of a series. He was a matchup nightmare. No matter who they threw at him, he was giving the buckets. But if we compare starting lineups, Tyreke Evans, Eric Gordon, Quincy Pondexter, Anthony Davis, Omer Asik versus Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. You tell me if they were supposed to win one game. And at that point, we're talking about a 21-year-old Anthony Davis. That's something I always got to keep in mind. 2015, Anthony Davis was 21 years old leading that team against the best team in the league and turned out to be the best team in the world since they won a championship. You can't expect that team to win. You cannot expect that team to win. It was even surprising to me that they made it that far.
So for me, and I hate to be too critical of Anthony because I do like him a lot personally, but given his numbers, given the numbers he can put up, and given his player efficiency rating, he's the most overrated player in basketball to me because he doesn't have anything to show for it.
Now, having plenty of players in NBA history to put up these empty numbers, meaning that they'll put up 20, 25 points per game, but ultimately their team doesn't win. Well, this year, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins have put together a formula where they have been relatively good. They're 34-26. That's fifth. That's fifth in the Western Conference with literally being a two-man show. These are going to be the two players in NBA history where they were on track to be the two players in NBA history to be on the same team and both average 27 and 10. They have a better record than the Trailblazers, the Nuggets, and the OKC Thunder. Now, are those really empty stats when he's doing things like this?
Again, do they have the guard play? Do they have the shooters? But you would say what they do at their positions is so dominating that if you put them together on the same team, it should equal challenge to Golden State.
It should be like David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Or Ralph Sampson and Elijah Wan when they were getting to finals.
Now, he mentioned some great big man duos. The Admiral and the Big Fundamental. Successful big man duo. But we got to think about it. This is a different league now. There are two formulas to being a successful NBA team today. Formula number one, 2 stars and an amazing supporting cast. Those would be the Toronto Raptors, the Boston Celtics, the Houston Rockets. So you got Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, that bench and that rest of the star lineup is deep. Boston Celtics, Kyrie Irving and Al Horford. The rest of that team is deep. You got the Houston Rockets, Chris Paul and James Harden. And the rest of the team just fits what they do. And then you got the other formula where you got at least 3 stars. The old Cleveland team, LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. They now Golden State Warriors. Well, I guess, you know, that's got 4 stars. But there is no recipe that says 2 stars and a trash team. There's no successful team like that. Not at all. The best thing we got is, well, the Trailblazers. You got 2 really good players, but the rest are mediocre at best. And how does the Trailblazers season end every year? The same way. In order to be a competitor in this league, you need more than what the Pelicans have right now. Now, since this aired, which was 5 days ago, the Pelicans are 3-0, and Anthony Davis is averaging 42 and 16. I watched this game against the Suns today, and that's what made me want to make this video, because without him on that court, his team was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. But as soon as he gets put in the game, they go on to come back and win that game. He had to put up 53 points to win a game. That's not a team built for success. There's one more part in this video, and I think Shannon Sharp says it perfectly, so I'll let him say it.
I read something the other day that Anthony Davis said he's talked to a lot of players where they say they waited too long to be traded. He's going to get tired of this losing.
Maybe.
Because he's looking at what's going on around and he sees everybody else pairing up. And he knows the likelihood of him attracting someone to come to New Orleans isn't very good. He's probably going to have to leave and go somewhere else if his ultimate goal is to compete and win championships.
Pelicans fans, you may want to click off now because things are about to get a little bit real. I would hate for Anthony Davis to spend the rest of his career in a place like New Orleans. Not the city, but the organization. They've made terrible moves in the past, and because of that, well, their near future is haunted. Yes, you have Anthony Davis up until, I think, 2021, which is great for them. But DeMarcus Cousins is up for a new contract. You have to entice him to stay. And, well, even if he does stay, you don't have money to improve this roster more than what you got. That Jrue Holiday contract that they had to give him, or he was going to walk and they would have no point guard, is really hurting them. The Omer Asik deal that they gave really hurt them for a while, but luckily they got off him. Shout out to my boy Omer for coming back to Chicago. Solomon Hill's deal, Alexis Agensa, they've made some bad decisions over the recent years that are going to haunt them in the future. Now, I would love for Anthony Davis to pull similar moves to like Kevin Garnett. Minnesota, Kevin Garnett knew that he was not going to win much. He did everything he could to help that organization win, but at the end of the day, they couldn't. And because of that, he gets shipped off to a place where they were able to build a team around him to help him win a championship. Anthony Davis is too good of a talent to be wasted where he is now in his current situation. And that's how we're going to end it. I tweeted, free Anthony Davis. Now, I know he can't get traded now. Somebody said that. I know this. All right. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Let me know if you like this new format. I think of this as like a advanced version of a reaction video, you know? So let me know if you want to see me react to different things. If you like this, be sure to leave it a like, because that'll ultimately let me know that this is what y'all enjoy. You can hit me up on Twitter if you got some other clips you want to see me react to or whatever. See y'all very soon. Peace.